Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. I am God, and I'm making a video talking about treasure. Okay. What I read, that was the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 19. Okay, and onwards. So, what do I want to talk about here? It's interesting. So, looking at what the world does. So, if you look at the, developed countries, like the United States of America, the United Kingdom, Europe, the rest of Europe, France, Germany, etc. And all around the world, Japan, China, Russia, yeah, all kinds of places, right? They have the stock market, okay, and the stock market and commodities and forex, currency exchange, and all the derivatives that go along with that. What else? You got the bond market, you got futures, you got options, all that kind of stuff, right? All kinds of financial products that have been cooked up by financial wizards. My mum was a derivatives lawyer. She's dead now. She left me. She died. I was left with quite a bit of money, so I haven't been. I don't go to work anymore. Basically, make of that what you will. As far as I'm concerned, I'm always busy. I'm always doing stuff, learning, thinking. Yeah, it's always happening. I'm not a lazy person in the sense that I don't think. I mean, I sit in a chair all day long. Yeah, you could say that I'm lazy because I'm sat in a chair all day long. But then again, you could say any person who sits in an office chair is lazy. Do you know what I mean? You say, yeah, well, you haven't moved out of your seat for an entire day, so you must be lazy then. Does that make them lazy? Anyways, I want to talk about this. So, people who trade, people, whether it's, well, I guess, it depends on the thing, but, if you're looking at stock, the stock market, so if you're buying shares in a company, for instance, or it's, a commodity or something like that, you have a chart that goes up, it goes up, you want to see it go up, people want to, you have a lot of people who are, they want to buy shares in a company, for instance, or they want to buy gold or silver or oil, oil contracts or whatever it is, right? And they want to see it go up. And obviously, okay, so I read the verse to you. It says, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth. So, in a sense, for a lot of traders, what they want to see that thing. They want to see the chart go up, 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 all the way to the top, right? To them, and they want to see, that's where their money is. They're like, yeah, we want to see, they call it the bull market. Well, this is a Bible, okay? This is a little Bible I've got here. You can probably read that there. I've got that, so there we go. Holy Bible. Bible. So what do, a lot of traders or people who are investors, they want to buy in the bull market. You know what I mean? They want to buy at the beginning of the bull market and make as much money as possible. And when it gets to the very, very top, sell it. That's what a lot of people like to do. So I do actually have some experience with trading because I used to work in IT as a network engineer, and that was when I started trading Bitcoin. That's when I became interested in Bitcoin, and I became interested in trading Bitcoin futures contracts. I was a novice then, and I spent years practicing and learning. I learned about various methods of technical analysis and Elliott wave theory. Elliott wave theory was the most interesting one because it teaches patterns, and that's the thing. Certain things like Bitcoin or commodities or the stock market, they tend to have patterns that they follow, and Elliott wave theory it's all about trying to recognize what pattern, what stage the market's in, and identifying what the pattern is going to look like in the future. So what sort of expectations you have. It helps you narrow it down. It takes a lot of practice. You can learn it. You can learn the rules for it, but actually learning how to apply it to a chart, is a different story, really. To get, if you really want to be accurate with that, well, it takes a lot of practice. But anyways, so I was, I learned Elliott wave theory after I'd lost most of my money. So, I was trading Bitcoin, and I also traded, what else did I lost my money. I quit my job. I didn't really have that much money. I only had several £1,000s to play with, really. I didn't really have an awful lot of money back then. Now I've got way more money than I did back then. But anyway, let me continue with the story. So the thing is, I'm God, okay? I go to work. The world is conspiring to bleed me dry. I'm speaking metaphorically, basically, but the world, that's essentially what the world wants to do to me. It wants to steal my destiny. It wants to bleed me dry. It wants to put a barrier in front of me everywhere I go. The world wants to see me unhappy. So I've done what I've done to that's the thing. When I first started trading Bitcoin, I used to look at charts all day, every day. That's all I did. From the moment I got out of bed to the moment I went to sleep at night. I would sleep on my sofa with my computer on. Yeah, that's how crazy. I had a filthy sofa. I would just fall asleep. I would just curl into a ball on my tiny little sofa, covered in sweat, got flies flying around the fucking place. That's how fucking crazy I was. I was just completely surrounded by garbage. While I all I would focus on was money. Money. I was totally, and that's the thing, because I never ever wanted to go back to working in an office ever again. But while this was all happening, I was learning about truth. I was learning about the Bible, and this is when things started to get really crazy for me. This is when I found out who I am. I found out that I'm God. So, yeah. I've explained this story a lot of times already. I'm not going to repeat it again in this video. But, anyways, I mean, my last job that I had, I worked for Hermes. You know, the delivery company, the parcel delivery company. I worked for them. I got a job with them, working as a van driver. You know, I was shifting probably like half a ton of parcels every single day. Pretty much. Yeah, something like that. You know, it could be, some days it could be 300 parcels, some days it could be 1,000 parcels. You know, it's to drive a big Luton van and try, you know, some days it would just be totally full. I mean, you know what I mean? It's fucking very, it was a very intense job, I'll say that, okay? Having to move huge quantities of parcels from, I used to go to shops, you know, like convenience stores and stuff like that. You know, petrol stations, that sort of thing. You know, the company's called Evri now. It's not called Hermes anymore. They changed, as soon as I left the fucking place, they changed the name to Evri, E-V-R-I. It's fucking typical, because I left. It's because I'm God. They changed the fucking name. Yeah. Strange how that happens. Patterns, yeah, I notice them. Yeah, I really do. Anyway, so I worked for, and then as soon as I started working for, when it was called Hermes, it's called Evri now, right? A month after I'd been there, the COVID pandemic started. I started there in late 2019, okay? And then the COVID pandemic happened. And it was like, so the roads became very, you know, there was like no traffic. It was, you know, it was hardly any traffic anymore. When, you know, for the first couple of months, it was like, whoa, where, you know, it's like there's no cars on the road. And, you know, I was driving through the countryside, could drive for 10 minutes without seeing another vehicle sometimes, you know, it was like, what the fuck. Pretty crazy. But the parcel volumes were enormous, so it meant driving became a little bit easier. The less traffic, but more parcels to move. Wow. Ooh, and the pay was shit. It was totally shit. Worst job I've ever had. I liked it though, it was fun, but it was a very risky job. And it paid very little. But I had a laugh with it. It was nicer than me stuck in an office with a bunch of shitheads I hated me, that wanted to ruin my life. So yeah. And it was nice. It was nicer than staring at a computer screen all fucking day, worrying about how much money I'm gonna have at the end of it. Yeah, it was nice to get away from all that. It was so, I felt so relieved and like free from having to trade money. So this is the thing. I'm God, okay? So, you know, what people do that they shouldn't be doing it, right? But the fact is that I'm the curse breaker, right? If people are going to do curses against me, well, I can fight them at that game. And I have to do that. Okay? So I do things differently. I'm God. I can do what the fuck I like. Okay? I mean, right now, God, I'll tell you how much money I've got in Bitcoin. So, shall I? Well, the current price of Bitcoin, what is it? What is it? What is it in pounds? Well, I put about £200,000 in Bitcoin. That is now worth just over £650,000. So, made a nice profit. Okay? Nothing to cry about, right? But to be honest, I don't look at Bitcoin. I'll have the occasional look. I mean, I've got a ticker on my phone, so, I can see what the price is every single time I turn on my phone, but looking at the chart, I don't even bother looking at the chart. I just look at the number and go, well, that looks good, or, yeah. I just think, cool. And then I just go about getting on with my life, I've got so many other things to think about. And to be honest, I don't care, what I really want. I want justice, okay? £1 million does not cut it. The world owes me more like £1 trillion. That's what the world owes me. More than that, really. The world should be at my feet. I'm God. I created the universe. I created everybody. Yeah. A couple £100,000 or £1 million. It doesn't cut it. I don't care. Seriously, like, if the world isn't going to give me what I want, I mean, I'd happily just spend every penny I've got until it all runs out. I'll go live in a tent and die. And that'll be it. I probably wouldn't even let it get to that stage. I would make a swift exit of this world. Somehow. One way or another. I'm not going to sit and play a game with the world. The world wants to sit and think, who's God then? Does God even exist? I've made hundreds of videos. I've made hundreds of hours of videos speaking about who I am. I know who I am. Unfortunately, the world doesn't care who I am. So, yeah. So, let me get back to this, this verse. Okay? So, people who are on Wall Street or, the London stock, the people who are traders. I mean, there's so many ways to get into trading these days, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty easy, really. There's so many different ways, you can do CFDs, contracts for difference, you can do spread betting, you can do, all kinds of shit, right? All kinds of stuff. But, people are, that's the thing. People want to focus on the money, trade, and, it's horrible, isn't it? Like, you think how much tax has to be paid as well. The government's like, yeah, we're going to take 50% of this and 50%. Fucking hell. What? Yeah, but anyway. I hate the government so much. But the fact is that people are obsessed with money. People want money. And you think, how many churches, or so-called churches, how many people teach the prosperity gospel? They want to, they're there because they want money. They want money and fortune and good health, and, they want all the nice stuff, don't they? Let me read to you, okay? Let's see what we got here. Okay, so Matthew chapter 6, verse 28. Actually, no, I'll start at verse 25 here, okay? Actually, well, where do I want to start here? Oh, I'll start from verse 19 again, okay? Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So, you're being asked to love God. You're being asked to love God first. And God, how many times throughout the scriptures does God make the point that people need to stop worrying and trust God to provide everything that they need? People, how many times does, you see the Israelites, they complain about, the food that they have, or they worry about stuff. They don't have faith that God will take care of them. Okay? It happens again and again and again and again and again. Okay? So, it's important for people to, do not fear death. Do not fear death. Do not fear loss. Do not fear, this is the thing, people have to realize that, at some point your life ends. In this world, your life ends, and then you go to the other side. You're going to be, where are you going to go after that? That's what you need to understand, right? You're going to be somewhere else after that. Life in this world, in a human body, is temporary. Okay? But people want to get all obsessed about money and status and sex and money. They're very materialistic. Understand that that's not, people are focused on the wrong thing. Okay? It says here, verse 22, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Okay? So, yeah, that's the thing. I see all these people, they claim to be spiritualists. There are lots of these people who are on YouTube, and they're making videos saying, God says this, God says that. And they're always talking about prosperity and money and blessings and abundance. God, they always want to, they're always talking about God's going to give you this, God's going to give you that. God wants you to have this, you're blessed, blah, 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 blah. It's witchcraft. What they're doing is it's magic. They're trying to, these people are obsessed with money. Money. That's all they care about. Money and sex. And they try to, they want to say that God is giving them blessings. They are liars. They are They're witches, basically. You know, they are trying to manifest with their words. They're trying to stir the pot. They're trying to, you know, I mean, that's the thing, you know. I mean, look at P. Diddy, for example. Puff Daddy. Yeah? Or, you know, R. Kelly, you know. Oh, yeah, what are you going to say? You know, people want to believe that if someone has millions and millions of dollars, oh, it's because God loves them and God blessed them. You know, and that they deserve the money. You know, God looked at them and thought, wow, what an amazing human being. Let's give them all this money, the millions and billions of dollars. Yeah, because they deserve it. No, that's not what it is. Okay, just because someone's filthy fucking rich doesn't mean God loves them and blessed them with all that. And, you know, God was like, hey, you're such a great person, I'm going to give you all this money. No, that's not how it works. They're thieves. They're liars. They're criminals. They're sinners. Okay? They decided to go after money. They love money. Okay? They don't love God. They love money. But, you know, that's the thing. You know, there are all these celebrities, you know, people like Rihanna, Robin Rihanna Fenty, or A$AP Rocky, or Jay-Z, or, you know, or Donald Trump. You know, he's another one. Do you know what I mean? He's that's the thing. He serves money. He doesn't serve God. That's the thing. It's very easy for a rich person to say that they love God. Yeah, it's very easy, but that's the thing. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. I could tell you that I love you and I could stick a knife in your back at the same fucking time. Does that mean that I love you? No. Actions are part of the, you know, that's the thing. Actions mean something, don't they? Yes, they do. Obviously. So, verse 25. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon, in all his splendor, was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Okay, so we live in a world where people are constantly trying to gather money, assets, you know, they want to buy, you know, that's the thing, you know, people are money obsessed. They worship the world. They don't put God first. Okay? They don't want to put me first. And that's the thing about, you know, people who are, you know, people who are traders, you know, people who buy, you know, shares in a company hoping that they're going to go up, they're going to go sky high in price, and then they're going to sell them and they're going to collect their money. You know, that's the thing, you know. I mean, it says, you know, store up your treasures in heaven. Well, and then, you know, the trader, what he does, the financial the financial wizards, what they try to do is they're mimicking. They're trying to mimic. You see, there are those who store up their treasures in heaven. They love me, their Father. I'm the Creator. I'm God. I created the universe. I created everybody. They have a loving relationship with me. But there are those, that is storing, they are storing up their treasures in heaven. But then, there's the people who are on Wall Street, who, they mimic that. They're trying to mimic the storing up of treasure in heaven. It's a mimic. They are mimicking. They are not in a loving relationship with me, God. They aren't. They're fakers. Okay? What they're doing is, it's magic. It's in a sense, you can say that they are storing up their treasures in heaven because, based on what they're doing with the chart, it goes up and 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 up. And they're like, yeah, money, 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 money. Yeah? It's, it's, when Moses, he came down to the Israelites, he came down from the mountain with the 10 Commandments, right? From Mount Sinai. And he came down with the 10 Commandments. And the Israelites, they had made a golden calf. Well, you know what a calf is, right? It's basically a bull, isn't it? It's a cow, it's a bull. Made of gold. How strange that the Bible is called the Bible. Don't you think that's strange? Sorry about my bed here, but it's a bit of a freaking mess. Anyways. What more can I say? I admit, I do think about my money and how far it's going to go, and how long will it last, and how long will I last, with this body of mine, how long will it all, what when's the day when I'm going to have no money or my health runs out or whatever, right? I don't know. I really don't know. But it seems like it could be quite a long time, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting for a world. I'm tired of waiting for people to understand who I am. Someone with my amount of money wouldn't be sitting in front of a computer all day long trying to convince everybody that he's God. In the past 3 years, in the past 2 or 3 years, I've posted tens of thousands of things on social media, all with the aim of trying to convince people of who I am. I don't have any friends. I have no social life. I could have gone out. I could have just gone down the pub every fucking day, had a laugh with people, talked a bunch of shit with people. But the fact is, I can't really do it anymore. That's something I used to do when I was younger. I don't do that anymore. Because I don't view I know what the situation is. I know who I am. I know who I am. the thing. You know, I refuse to enter into a relationship with somebody, a friendship or a relationship with somebody, without establishing the fact of who I am. I'm God. I can't go into I can't, even when I worked at in my last job, when I was working at Hermes, or it's called Every now, right? But when I worked there, I told people, I said, I'm God. I told them who I am. I said, I'm Jesus. I'm the second coming. And they laughed at me. They thought it was a joke. They thought I was a clown. They thought I was crazy. And that's the thing. There were signs everywhere. There were signs all over the place. But that's the thing. The world does not see who I am. It just does not see who I am. It will not accept me. It doesn't. I could talk to someone about a specific thing, and then that specific thing gets talked about in the news the next day, and it could involve a whole bunch of people dying in a war zone, or it could be a disaster or something. That's the thing. They don't care. They don't care. It doesn't matter if the world reflects me. The news, the media, the entire planet is reflecting me. That's what it does. It does that in order to try to steal my power by pretending to be me. But when I point it out to people, they don't see it. They say, "No, you're crazy." They don't believe you. They think I'm full of shit. Well, the most important thing to me is that people understand who I am. I'm tired of doing this. I don't know what I'm going to do in my life, really, because I've been doing this for so long now that, I really want to stop. I really do want to stop. I don't want to keep doing this. If I wanted to, I could sell my Bitcoin. I could sell everything I wanted. I could go do what I want to do. I could go traveling. I could sit and play computer games all day. I could get myself a dog or two. Get some pets. I could eat nice food. I could, just focus on being healthier, happier, and not think about, I could basically just cut out the entire world. I could basically just forget about, I could stop watching the news. I could stop going on social media. I could be a total recluse. I just get myself, get some pet, get a pet or some pets, and I'd go for daily walks, and I could play computer games. I could read books. I could find other things to do in my life. I could do all kinds of stuff that doesn't involve other people, and I could just forget about it and just see what happens and do that. I'm quite tempted to do that, because really, I feel like I'm not left any other choice. The world does not want to know who I am. See, that's the thing, because if the world refuses to acknowledge who I am, the reason the world doesn't want to acknowledge who I am is because the world is too busy trying to be me. That's the thing. If you're trying to clone somebody else, if you're trying to steal someone else's identity, well, you don't say, "Oh, that's them, by the way," do you? No. What you do is you steal that person's identity and pretend to be them instead. All right. That's the problem. People refuse to give up. They refuse to give up, don't they? So, what am I left with? Well, ultimately, I don't lose. I've struggled and I'm struggling. I don't want to keep doing this. So I'll look for, well, what happens happens, you know. I don't know exactly where I'm going with all this, but I don't know. I mean, the annoying thing is that, you know, I've poured my heart into this, you know, I've poured my heart into, and all my effort, blood, sweat and tears, into explaining the truth to people. They don't want to know it. I don't really feel any better off for anything I've done in the last 3 or 4 years, really. I just happen to have a lot of money. Well, quite a bit of money. I don't have a lot of money, but I have some money. I have more money than a lot of people I used to call friend. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, that was my... Whew. But that's the thing, you know, people that I used to know, you know, they don't have the same amount of money that I do. Probably. Saying that, I did go to school with some very rich, you know, boys from very rich families. I used to know some very wealthy people from very wealthy families when I was younger. So, but anyway, the fact is that the world owes me a lot. And when I say a lot, you know, I'm expecting billions, maybe even £1 trillion compensation. That's the type of that's the type of justice I'm talking about. More than that. It's more than just money. It's, you know, I need to, you know, people need to understand who I am and treat me the way I'm supposed to be treated. But people don't want to do that. So the world is cursed as a result of that. Okay? I'm the source of all power. I'm the source of all blessings. Okay? People try to steal from me without love. You know, people want to take from me without loving me, without acknowledging who I am. You know? If you ask the average person, hey, where do your blessings come from? They'll say, their hard work. It's their hard work. That's where everything comes from. And it turns out, you know, they hate me. They don't love me. They don't believe in me. And they're doing witchcraft. They work with shit demons in order to take what belongs to me. But those people are cursed. They're headed towards death and destruction. So that's really all I can, you know. Yeah. I mean, the financial system used in Western countries, you know, all this money printing, fiat currency, inflation, debt, 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 and more debt. It's terrible. It's not going in a positive direction. It's been going in a very bad direction for a long time now. Okay? In fact, you know, I was born in 1987. How bad has it gotten since the day I was born in this body? Like, you know, the market, you know what I mean? Like, it's looking very, very bad. You know, you got the United Nations. You know, they want to talk about the Great Reset. You know, telling people that, you know, that they won't have things anymore. It'll just be, you know, you borrow stuff from one another, and you know, it's a very sort of it's sort of a, yeah, it's a different type of system they're looking at, isn't it? It's sort of, to me, it sounds a bit more like communism, really. But that's the thing, you know, the people who, the rich, powerful people of this world, who have lots of money and lots of influence, you know, that's basically where they want things to go. You know, they want, there's going to be the rich, the super elite people. They're going to have their millions and billions of dollars or whatever, their money. And the people who don't have money, well, you know, they're just going to be, you know, told to deal with it. They're, you know, it's going to be like, well, you're not going to have anything anymore. You'll just have the basic essentials, and that's it. You know. You know, while the media is controlled, and you know, people are going to feel hard done by. People feel like they're going to be, well, that's the thing. People already feel that way. You know, people already feel like they're being robbed by the state, and that will only get worse. And this is the thing, right? So I'm God. What did I ask people to do? I asked people to put me first. Stop serving, you know, stop going after money. Put me first. And the fact is, without me, people are finding themselves in that same situation, but it's the state who's dictating their lives. It's the state who tells them that, you know, they're not going to have anything anymore, and they're just going to have to deal with it, basically. That's because it's, you know, it's all about the environment. It's about, you know, or, you know, people are in poverty, people don't have the skills, or whatever, you know, nonsense they want to tell you, basically. Yeah. And people will, you know, that's the thing. People are, it's going to get worse for people. People are going to find themselves, you know, it's getting worse. And so people, you know, and that's the thing, you know, why can't people just love me, God? Why can't they put me first? Why are they refusing to do that? You know, it's more than, that's the thing. Is it all about money? You know, the thing is, people, a lot of people, they hate me, they despise me. They don't like the fact that I'm God. They don't like the fact that I have power. They don't like that. They don't want to think that there's a God who has all the power, basically. You know, they don't like that idea. They would much prefer to be their own God. That's the real problem, really. Yeah. People would prefer that I didn't exist. That's the thing, I created everything and everybody. You know, that is the truth. You know, there's no way you can change that. There's no way to change that. People will pretend that there's a way to, you know, that's the thing. People want to think that they can, you know, they can just, well, that's the thing, you know. I said there is no way of changing that. Well, what does no mean? You know, Babel. It's all about building a tower to heaven. You know, people want to build their way. The people want to be God. They want to steal my destiny. They want to steal what belongs to me. And they do it through witchcraft, sex magic, word magic, all that kind of stuff. Okay. It's easy to twist words. You know, I'll give you an example, right? You know, for instance, if I say, thou shalt not murder. I mean, that's the thing, right? But, you know, like, think about it, right? So if the government, you know, takes away your ability to work, your ability to have any kind of enjoyment in your life, you know, takes away your ability to make friends, you know, tells you you have to stay in your house, and you know you're basically going to suffer because they restrict you so much that you can't do anything. You know, you find yourself deprived of everything that you need, and you die as a result of that, or you commit. So let's say you decided to end your life because your life was so miserable. Then technically, that statement, "Thou shalt not murder," you know, the people who've done that to you have, well, that's the thing, they didn't murder you, you know, in a sense. But that's, you know, they use, that's what does not mean. You know, if someone controls your life and deprives you of everything that you need, and they use, you know, that's the thing, you know. If you're backed into a corner, well, it's like being bound with rope, you know. You feel restrained. You feel like you can't do anything. You know, you start to feel like everything is hopeless. You know, you can't get anywhere in life. You know, like I'm just explaining, like, it's easy to protect, you know, that's the thing. It's easy, that's the thing, right? So that's the thing, you know, the commandment says, "Thou shalt not murder," right? I mean, it's easy to it's easy to drive someone to death without laying a finger on them. You know, I mean, think about it. You know, if someone gets bullied, yeah, if someone's being bullied by lots of people, and that person takes their own life as a result of that, well, those bullies, you know, they can say, "Well, we didn't do it." You know, but aren't they guilty? They are guilty, you know, of doing what they did to that person. You know, they pushed that person over the edge, didn't they? So this is the thing about language, right? Like I've explained. Anyways, I am waffling a bit, aren't I? It's early on a Sunday morning. Yeah. Yeah, it just reminded me of that. I'm thinking about that film. Who was it? It was. I always really liked the film. Actually, I watched it many times. I don't know if you may have heard of it, maybe not. But it's called The Edge, and it's with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. And it's about, you know, Anthony Hopkins plays a billionaire. You know, he's this old guy, billionaire. He's got a young, pretty wife. She's like a model, basically. And he goes out to the you know, the wilderness with, you know, his crew of people. And Alec Baldwin is the guy. He's having an affair with the wife. But you only find that out later on in the film. But they get, like, they're in a plane crash in the forests, you know, out in the middle of nowhere in the wilderness in America, and they have to fight for survival, and they get chased by a killer bear. So it's interesting, isn't it? So it's the filthy rich man, the billionaire, and he's getting chased by a bear. So, you know, obviously I made the point about the Bible, right? So the bull market, you know, and people talk about the bull market and the bear market. If the bear market is what, you know, when the market's going down, people call that a bear market. Okay? You know, if that's the, you know, obviously, you know, there are, I mean, that's the thing, even in a bull market, the price still comes down. It doesn't always just go up in a straight line. You know, it's going to go up and it's going to pull back and it's going to go up and it's going to pull back and it's going to go up again. And then after your bull market ends, you know, you're going to see a longer term correction, bear market. So it's going to come down and it's going to, you know, it's going to do patterns and come down again. Yeah, you know, you have your, you know, corrections. You know, you have your impulse waves and you have your corrective waves. Okay, it's all explained in Elliott wave theory. Okay. Pretty much. Well, it gives various rules that can be, you know, it's one of those things you can, you know, anyway, whatever, right? But this is the thing, you know, he's the billionaire getting chased by the bear. You know, the bear wants to kill him. So that's the thing, right? It's an interesting thought, that, isn't it? Because, you know, if you think about, well, that's, you know, a Wall Street trader, you know, most of them, they like to trade in a bull market. I mean, the fact is you can trade both ways. You can buy or you can sell, right? You can short the market, so you can make money in a bear market or in a downtrend. You know, if you want to catch a price movement that's going down, well, you short the market. And there are various ways that's, you know, that's done, you know, but it's essentially, it's like, you know, the broker sort of lends you, yeah, well, you know, there's that, yeah, you know, it's there's always, the broker does the lending, and, you know, the difference is made when, you know, the position is exited at the end of the trade, isn't it? So it's yeah, hopefully you get the point. It's all very complicated, isn't it, really? I mean, it's as complicated as you want to make it. I mean, that's the fact, right? Because as a trader, it's so easy just to go on to a trading platform and just click a button and you'll be like, yeah, short or buy or whatever, right? You don't really need to you don't need to have a you know, a very you know, you don't need to have a very good understanding of exactly how the broker does all of these things. You just need to know the basics of how it works. You know, it doesn't, you know, as long as you've done enough research in order to get the thing done, it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it does and it doesn't. It depends how you look at it. But anyways, I'm talking about the film The Edge, right? And the guy's getting chased. And that's the thing, right? Because in the tarot deck, you have, let me get the card. Okay? Oh, come on. Where is it? There's the Fool card, okay? It's the very first card of the tarot deck. Okay? Hopefully I can find it. Oh, come on. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, you see where he's standing? This is the Fool card. It's got the number 0 at the top. So what's the Fool? You know, he's standing on that cliff edge. Yeah, he's not even looking where he's walking. He's looking up at the sky. He looks totally carefree. You know, he's not worried. He's not worried where he's going. You understand? Ow. Yeah, he's not worried where he's going, does he? It's interesting though, isn't it? How that is that little dog that's chasing after him. Little dog. I mean, that's the thing. Have you ever seen a dog that looks kind of like a bear? I mean, what is a dog? Obviously people do doggy style, don't they? What's a bear? A gay man could be called a bear as well. Or maybe it's a Russian bear. You know what I'm saying? But the fool, he's carefree. So that's the world. The world, that's what the world wants to be. Without God, just having a great time. Not just being a clown. Going on that adventure without God. Don't care about God. Where's the money at? Where's the fun at? Where's the sex at? Life's an adventure. Who needs God anyway? That's just, that's, yeah. I mean, the fool. What's a fool? Well, if you don't love God, then you are a fool. Really. It's about the most foolish thing you can do, really. And that sounds, I mean, okay, it does sound maybe a little bit big, saying it feels a bit big-headed, but, obviously I have understanding for people. I can understand that people don't always get things correct. It takes time for people to realize their mistakes. But ultimately, those who do not love me, God, are the fool, aren't they? Because what's going to happen to them? I'm the creator. I'm the source of all power, and I'm the source of all blessings. So if people don't love God, me, then this is what they are, a fool. They really are a fool. It's sad. It's bad. It's a terrible thing. It's a very dumb thing to hate your creator. Don't you think? It's a very foolish thing. That's the thing. The world, the fool, he wants to be happy without God. Yeah? Those that want to be happy without me, God, thinking that they're going to have some sort of great future without me, well, they're fools. They're stupid. They really are. Anyways, that film, The Edge. Yeah, so Anthony Hopkins' character. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's called Charles, isn't he? He's called Charles. Well, that's the thing. My dad, his name is my biological dad. His name is Charles. So Charles, the billionaire. Well, that's interesting actually, because my dad, Charles, he's very poor. He's very poor. He's been poor for a very, very long time. Yeah, he stopped working a long time ago because he was having back problems. And well, that's the thing. He was never. I've barely ever seen him. Throughout my life, I know very little about him. Yeah. He basically, he abandoned me. Yeah, he abandoned me, and I know that he's been involved with witchcraft because I've seen the photos. I've seen the photos where he's wearing a pentagram around his neck. He has long hair and a beard. He's going for that Jesus look, isn't he? And what did he do before I was born? Well, he gambled away all the money. He was obsessed with gambling. He used to bet on horses a lot. So he gambled away a lot of money. And that's the thing, because he's my biological dad, and the fact is that I am father. So the world wants to confuse him being my dad, my biological dad, with the fact that I'm God. I'm Father. I'm the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I'm God. So that's the thing. He's my enemy. Charles is my enemy. Okay? Charlie's my enemy. I don't see him in any positive light. I really don't. I think of him as a liar. And a piece of shit. I mean, that's the thing in the film The Edge, you know. Charles, he kills the bear. He's the one who kills the bear with a spear, a big stick. But that's the thing, you know. I'm associated with the death card in the tarot deck, so which is kind of strange, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I fancy watching the film. Should we watch The Edge? Should I do that?